Hello, lady.
Yeah, recording.
Perfect. Okay. So, do you want to kind of go through that again, Janice?
Yeah.
Just
Sorry.
like, what did I say? I was talking about how important it is to place yourself in the circles, in the groups, in the gatherings with the high vibrational energy that the people there are bringing, the excitement for life, the visions, the consciousness of wanting to serve in the world, raising the consciousness and helping each other. So
Mm.
I've just joined a new group again. I've done this many times with several different high level coaches, and it's just so exciting when you jump into the group and you go, okay, I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden you feel that energy just expand. That's what it's about. Yeah,
100%.
it's really interesting that you say that. I was having a call this morning with a client, and she was talking about how lonely she is on her spiritual path and journey. And we were having exactly that conversation of find the groups where you have people that you resonate with, and that are there are plenty of them. I mean, even if it's just that you're going to be getting into groups on Facebook, like Alana's groups, just get into those forums initially because you never know where that energy spreads to.
Mhm.
In fact, that's a freaking good idea. I need to send her to you, to your forum that you do. When is it? Wednesdays, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Your Wednesday forum. Yeah. She should join in there. She's a bit
Yeah, of
shy, but
course.
it's okay. I can just pass her the link.
Mhm.
Um, and then the other thing that I just wanted to say as well is that, and this is just my own philosophy, and it's where I've come from, is that I no longer do anything in debt, as in buying it and paying, like going into debt over something. And it's not a kind of philosophy that I like to promote in my business either, because it just takes people into another vibration and another energy. And sometimes what that's meant for me is that I just have to wait. I just have to wait. It's not about not having, it's not about fear, and it's not about scarcity. It's also just about when the timing is ready, the resources are there. And so I've learned that some of these spaces, they're either not right for me, or alternatively, I'm not yet ready for them. Because debt is not debt for me is not a divine feminine energy at all. It takes us down rabbit holes. So that's just my philosophy, and it's working for me, compared to where I've come from with mountains of debt that I've had to clear.
Yeah.
So
Well, and there's
that's
so much you can say around that. Like there's so many different energies and I'm a little different from you because I feel like money flows, and when I get into a position where I'm stretching myself, the money comes. It comes because my energy goes, "Okay, let's do this. Let's go." And so for me, I don't see debt as a negative thing. I see it as just a flow of money, and I always end up bringing more in, and it's circulating, it's flowing, and
yeah.
it's not a bad thing. And I come from experiences of bankruptcy and scarcity, like big time. So I think that it's something to unpack, because I love your philosophy, Angela. If it's in divine love for you, and it opens you up to that, this is how I take care of myself, and it's not a fear-based thing. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's also this, and the reason why I raise it more so than anything else is not about this is I'm not advocating for scarcity at all. That's not what I'm
No,
saying. It's
no.
just that there's so much out there, and people are being bamboozled aside from Sundays with so much FOMO, that fear of missing out. And if you don't buy it now, and we've got these guarantees of you'll have 100,000 followers on Facebook, and you'll earn $10,500 in a month, that kind of stuff. That's where, when we
Yes.
start talking about what is the energy of debt. And oh, good grief. Sorry, that was just a call coming in. Um, it's a case of it's there's a way to deal with money in a 5D energy, which is the flow that you're talking about, Janice. And there's another way of dealing with money in the 3D energy, which is where that level of debt is not a good level of debt to get into. And that's, I think, the thing for me is, if anybody's ever feeling like anything that I'm putting out in the world, that this is a FOMO thing, well, then no, absolutely not. I don't subscribe to that at all, because that is, FOMO for me brings in scarcity, and it's still about control and controlling people. And that's not the energy of the divine feminine for me. So, yeah, and we'll have, there will be different viewpoints and different places. I'm still coming out underneath the mountain of that kind of energy. Well, when I say coming out, I'm out of it, but there's still the residual that needs to be cleared. And so the point for me, but there's also other things where I self-debt because I'm not advocating for myself. I
Right.
time debt because I'm giving away time to things that are not adding to the value that I'm either transmitting to other people, or alternatively, I'm procrastinating, or all of those energies that keep us caught in those old cycles. So it's just, for me, it's really around, how do I stand in the abundance of my truth in all aspects of my life? And that's really what it comes to for me. Okay, Alana, over to you. I'm going to keep quiet.
No, this is good, and I love this because this is the thing, is that we are allowed to have different points of view and different ideas around it, and none of them are wrong. And it's literally in this space of, like you said, you can choose whichever one feels, whatever belief fits you or feels good for you, then that works too. But it's like you said, I love that you're sharing this too, about this, like, it's not just about money, it's about time, and it's about energy that like what you give away. Like, this is also something I'm going through of, like, I'm one of those people that just love to give stuff and share and whatever. And it's like, okay, but there also has to be boundaries around it so that I'm not giving and in debt to myself. I love the way that you put that, of like having these like things, that energies that drain. And that's been something that's coming up for me. And it's like, okay, how can I protect my time better and pay attention to when people are taking advantage, or, you know what I mean? Like, not that I know people that I work with aren't taking advantage of my time on purpose. Like, that's not the energy they're coming from, but it's like, again, I need to have that boundary of what I'm willing to give all the time versus the value of myself, the
Correct.
wealth of myself, I guess, is the
Yeah.
best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
And
difference. Sorry, Janice. I was just going to say, just to add on to that, it's also how much free content we're putting out, which is a necessary part of what we do. But are we doing it to the detriment of ourselves? Are we giving too much away for free? And that's, so Janice, yeah, sorry.
no, I was just going to speak to that too. Basically, though, that there is so much free stuff for people to be doing the work and working on their energies and healing and that sort of thing. But there's a difference when you actually put your commitment, and that's what money is for us, is powerful energy. So when we put our commitment in and say, okay, this is where I'm going, that's a whole different level of people. But yeah, so the free stuff really helps you kind of deal with all that FOMO and the energies of like, oh, is this for me or not? And I don't know. I feel like I'm being influenced. It's like, oh, like I love that conversation, because if it's lighting you up, if you're listening to some free stuff and it's lighting you up and getting you excited, then yeah, it's absolutely the direction you need to go in. But also being a good steward of your money, of course, is important. And but I have invested in thousands of dollars of programs, and can I say that the money has come back? It's like I I haven't kept track. I would say no, maybe. But then again, I look at my lifestyle and I'm like, but my lifestyle has increased and my learning and growth has been phenomenal. So yes, it's come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it always, as a teacher, you can never lose when you invest in your learning.
Yeah.
It's just
And also,
making
I think,
sure that's the right people.
yeah. And I think it's also, it makes when we really step into the feminine energy, it takes the energy of abundance into so many different places. Because again, in the 3D place, we talk about abundance, and most people equate it to money. I'll never forget that one scene in the Secret, and The Secret has got many good points to it. Don't get me wrong, but there was that one scene in the movie where the woman was admiring the gold necklace in the window, and the next frame, her boyfriend's putting it around her neck. And those kind of messages, and it's not only there, it's in advertisements, it's all over the place.
Right.
That kind of instant manifest. I know we can manifest instantly. I know that. But if you think about the amount of work that we need to do to get to that level of consciousness of where it is around, where it is almost the thought and the manifestation happens. And for some people, that happens. I mean, I remember having a friend that's in my 20s. Every time we went out somewhere and there was a competition, she'd win it absolutely every single time. And then there were others that just didn't. And it's for me, what I'm really learning around this, it's all about frequency and what frequency am I emitting out into the world.
Yeah.
And what are we drawing back in as a result? So it transcends that abundance equals money. Is, Janice, you're talking about your lifestyle. You're talking about the aspects, the richness of the people that you have in your all of those things make up abundance. It's not just about money.
Yeah. And I think that the majority of people are getting to understand that now, that it's like, it's about the feelings that you want to create in your life. But I also think that there's still a lot of stigma around talking about money, and we need to get past that because we resist abundance in the form of money. And any, people that say, oh, I don't need that much money. I don't need it. It's like, there's something there you need to unpack because
It's
you
the
know what?
training
I will
weekend.
allow, I will allow as much as is willing to flow into me, come into me. Because I think I heard something the other day, someone said, anyone who says that they don't want money and they don't need it or they don't want to be rich hasn't given away enough. And I was like, yeah, because when you do have that flow, you are allowing the freedom to give, to help others, to, bring that energy back out into the world and support the
Others.
growth.
Yeah.
So,
And it's this beautiful feminine dance of energy as opposed to the kind of out of balance, profit at all costs and all that. I remember I've been to so many of these events where it's deliberately, and I saw behind the scenes of what the sales model is, where it's deliberately contrived on every level, the hype, the music, the people that bus into these events to make sure that the rooms are full, the VIP seats at the front, and you're only good enough if you're sitting in all of that hype is designed around creating FOMO so that people part with their money, and not in the right energy. They part because they don't want the fear of missing out, and then they can go and stand on the stage and do all the stuff that goes with it. I've been into so many of those environments, and I'm sorry if I sound a little bit jaded, but I've seen what goes on in the background, and you see some of these speakers standing out on the stage, and then behind the scenes, they're kind of almost trash talking about the audience and who's in the audience and how much money they're making. So I guess for me, it's just, if you're watching this, keep your critical faculties alive and go with what resonates.
That's such a really good point.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, because I've had the same thing of like variety of different experiences, but I mean, all of us have, but it's like, in those moments where it's like, am I caught up in the energy of all the things, or is it really truly something that I desire? And when you pay attention to those feelings, that's alignment. And when you follow your own alignment, that's what leads you down the path that you're supposed to have versus that, oh my gosh, everybody else is doing this. I got to get on board. Like if it really truly, if you take a minute, you close your breath to close your eyes and close your experience to everything else that's going on. And you're like, you ask yourself the question of, is this something that I truly want to do? Is this something I know that's going to move me forward? Or again, like you said, Janice, earlier about is this a community that I know that's going to lift me up and keep me moving forward, as opposed to being like, sometimes we get caught up in our head and all these other things. Just pay attention to that feeling within you. It's always guiding you in the right path, whether it's like, if it's here or in your heart, right? Versus like, oh my gosh, you're looking outside of you and all these other people are doing this thing. I need to do this thing because everybody else is doing it. I feel like I'll fall behind. That doesn't happen. You don't ever fall behind. You were always on the right path at the right time.
I could tell you, I can make you laugh a little bit because this goes back many years before, as part of my own journey. And this is also why I can talk this through, because it's been part of my own experience.
Me too.
I can just say to you, thank you, God. I do have a God that watches over me, where there are, what do they call them? You wake up in the mornings, you've signed up something, buyer's remorse,
Oh,
where
yes.
there's that buyer's remorse clause within the next kind of 20, 20 to 20, 24 to 48 hours that you can actually cancel the sale. I've done that a few times. And because overnight, Spirit has said to me, this is not for you. You're being out of integrity with yourself because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So yeah, it's been such an interesting journey, and when we truly delve into what is abundance, it's so much bigger, so
Gosh, yeah.
so much bigger than anything we ever even thought of. And so yeah, I don't know how we got onto this conversation, but it's been really cool.
We were talking about the frequency.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's that, you know, when we can step into the frequency of our infinite self instead of our limited human self, we step into that frequency. And it depends on what your dream is, what's in your heart, because each and every one of us has been given these seeds and planted within our heart. And when we're following that and allowing ourselves to remember that, yeah, this is for me, this is the right direction, this is where I want to go, this gets me excited, or you're getting caught up in the excitement of the other people, right? Because we're empathic beings, we feel that. So taking the time, knowing yourself enough to take the time to step away and go, okay. I just said this to my group this week. It's like, you know, that feeling that you have when you've been at a retreat or a conference or a festival that you just feel alive and expanded. That's the true you, rather than,
Yes.
you know, so having that wisdom within you to differentiate between, is this my energy or is this the energy of the people around me? And, you know, what's lighting me up for my next right step? And I do have a vision of reaching more people, like just raising the consciousness and
You're making such a key point around this, and that is it's all about the opening of the heart. It's all about that heart chakra opening up. And it sometimes has to crack open before it opens. I mean, you think about a seed. A seed sometimes has to push through a hard casing. And sometimes it's not comfortable. But until we get to the heart opening, certainly has been my learning, it's very difficult to truly understand and embrace what abundance is.
yes.
Well, and I think that's part of this frequency, right? And that we're talking about this movement into something, into that next level version of ourselves, or this expanded version of ourselves, because we don't start, well, we start there originally when we're born, and then all these other things come on top of us, and we're told what we shouldn't do. We told, you know, how we should live, and money and the programs that we pick up along the way. But it's like when we start truly understanding what that inner guidance is giving us, and like you said, opening up our heart to that, it takes a little bit to understand what that looks like, feels like for each one of us, because it's something we've been trained out of. And then so when we really truly take the time, that's what this whole process of, like what we all talk about of in that consciousness and expansion, that's what this whole journey is about, is understanding who we are and what we are within ourselves, and not what we've been told and what we've been directed and what we've been given all of our life. And it's that shift, that's the journey that we're all on.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's
something to keep in mind for people is like, if you're looking at a program, do you feel you need it to be better? Like, what's the word I want to say? It's, you will be loved more once you have this. You will be
Right.
accepted more once you have this. It's like, no, that's the wrong way to move forward. It's like, first, the abundance of love, like you said, the opening of the heart, that's so incredibly important, is awakening in the heart space and getting to know yourself and loving yourself, self-love and self-worth and self-confidence, and then expanding your energy with the people around you that remind you of that greatness within you. Not that I need this in order to feel more accepted, more worthy, more like, once I have this, I will be there. It's like, oh, it's a never ending journey.
Well, it's so funny that you say that because I
This is
literally have had this awareness come in over this last, not like the last little while, but I mean, I've had this awareness come in is like, and this is where this work comes in so handy of learning to understand yourself. Because that was one of the things that came up for me was like I was investing. I saw other people investing in themselves, and I'm like, oh, I felt like I was investing because I knew it was going to move me forward consciously, but the underlying belief was, well, everybody else is doing it. And because if I invest, then again, that like I will one be accepted, but it's also what the underlying belief that I found and discovered through journaling was around my investing was it wasn't so much as like, yes, I know it's going to move me forward. That was the conscious thought, but the underlying belief was I would then feel worthy enough for that success that I want. So really
Yeah.
like feeling into this is such an important piece.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And this for me is so much about this for me is so much about the journey of what self-sovereignty is all about in terms of the feminine energy. It's reclaiming all those parts of ourselves that we gave out to false beliefs, we gave out to erroneous narratives, we gave out to seeking approval and from others, fulfilling their expectations, all because it was going to come up from outside of me for me to feel whole. No, that's not how it happens. And certainly, again, from as we can all speak for ourselves, it certainly has been my experience. It's taken the cracking open of my heart, and I've had to move all the way through all of these chakras. That's part of the journey that we're going through with the business yogi, to get to the heart. Don't ask us how to do it, because you don't know. There is no how to do. There's no paint by numbers. This is how you open up your, crack open your heart chakra. It doesn't work like that. And this is where, as well, the divine feminine is so nuanced. She's so subtle. It's not obvious. It's not something you can do. It's about learning how to be.
Mhm. True enough. True enough.
And that's it. We've solved all the problems for today. No, just kidding.
Yeah, well, and I do have like that heart. I have a three-part series of a heart awakening codes, and it came through when my dog got hit by a car or a truck and died in my arms. It was tragic. It was hard. It was devastating, broke my heart. But what it did was it cracked my heart open, and I received all this information about my heart being the place that we need to begin. And that is where we start. That is the entry into your soul, into your higher spiritual self. But then, like, how much we keep our heart protected, and just bringing your awareness to that, just bringing yourself into, oh, sorry, they're doing construction outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, good. Hey, how do I soften my heart? That alone will start you on the journey. And just breathing into that, doing some meditations around that, like, that's where you begin. And
There's another clue. There's another clue in for me, and that is when the voice starts in, that internal narrative of the critic starts. And I remember very distinctly one day, and I had this circular stuff going around and around in my head. And of course, it dropping into the heart, I felt really, really awful. And the one day I just thought, okay, I'm actually stopping this. And I turned into because it comes on my left shoulder. I turned into my shoulder and I said, whose voice is that? Because it ain't mine. And I actually discovered it happened to belong to one of my aunts. And so that's another clue in over and above what Janice is saying is that listen to those voices in the head, because they're not yours. Who do they belong to? Thank you for serving me, because it no longer serves my highest good. So I am releasing you, and I'm releasing myself from that energetic entrapment that we're involved in. So that was one of the things for me that contributed a huge amount in terms of starting to open this up. Because in opening, what I'm doing here is I'm opening up to receive me. That's what I'm actually doing.
Well, and you're making space, like you said, originally that voice came from your aunt, and it's feeling into like, where is this coming from? Who is this? I love that tip, that point is because it helps people understand, anybody that's listening, like ask the question. The other piece here is trusting the answer that comes to you. Because again, we feel like the thoughts are here, but there's an awareness for those that haven't are in the process of discovering, haven't quite discovered. There is an awareness that pays attention to the voice that you hear in your voice, in your mind, right? It's this awareness that's underneath it all, that if you ask the question and the first thing that kind of comes in is usually your intuition, your guidance, and it's like if you just notice the difference between that voice that's coming in as the regular program versus the awareness of what's lying underneath that, that's hearing that voice, like that's the piece that we need to pay attention to.
It was such a relief in terms of being able to identify where it was coming from, because intuitively, I knew it wasn't my voice. Intuitively, I knew this wasn't the way that I wanted to talk, to be able to engage with me. And it wasn't loving and it wasn't kind. And I'm going, but no, doesn't belong to me. And so that's part of that narrative that we've come to believe based on what other people have said to us or how they have dealt with us. It's not about being the victim. It's actually about relinquishing the victim, because by letting that go, you can actually, that's another step into not only opening the heart, but also to being self-sovereign, because I start to own not only what I'm thinking, I'm owning what I'm feeling, and I'm owning what I'm experiencing and how I'm showing up in my world. It was a big piece for me, that one, because she was pretty horrid to me when I was little. In fact, very hard. So yeah, look for those. Those clues are the stories that we've told ourselves that keep us separate from who we are.
Oh my goodness. And there's so many of those stories. I just have to close my door. I'm having trouble hearing you guys.
Oh, good. But like you said, it's like once you have that awareness of, okay, this is my aunt's voice, now you recognize it. And so then you can let it go. It's like filtering out those like different frequencies. Again, going to frequencies, but filtering out those different frequencies of this is no longer mine. But now that you can now recognize it and let it go, you're opening up more space for you to hear your own understanding, your own awareness, and your own truth in that.
And it's a process and it takes time. It's like developing any other muscle. I mean, if you think about athletes and how athletes train themselves, this is no different. This is just a different form of training ourselves to be true to who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why programs are a long time. Some programs are a long time, just to keep deepening into the heart space and the intuitive voice rather than the limited human voice. And then also the other part of it is recognizing that we are, no matter what your beliefs are, you are co-creating with a force and accessing that elixir of life within you, because that is who we are naturally. And when we can align with that, it will drown out and dissolve the limitations that we have put onto ourselves and allow you to rise up into a bigger part of you, a bigger version of you.
So, Alana, I was just wondering, did we set a date and a time for when we're going to be talking about the mother wound?
Do we want to? I think it was next. Oh no, not next week. The first, because Janice, you're not here next week.
Yeah, Janice is away, so we're doing the live the 6th of June.
6th of June. Yeah, we're gonna go live. We're gonna talk about things.
Do you know what? The 6th of June, I'm
Busy?
I just realized that's the day we're putting the TV up. And
Oh yes. Wait, no, I think you said that.
yeah.
So it's the week after then.
Maybe the 13th, that would work. That would work great. The 13th.
I'll put it
Friday the 13th. Good to talk about mother wounds.
or wounds in general. Like it could be either one of those.
Yes, it could be definitely one of those days. Yeah, sorry about that. I just was like, oh yeah, I can do both. You know how you book yourself everywhere.
Oh, good.
But we do have the elder booked for sure now. He's coming at 1
Wow.
to
That's
instruct a group of beautiful young people, young Indigenous people that want to learn how to put a teepee up. So he's coming to
That.
teach and do the story. Yeah, I love it too. And that this group of kids will then be helping. There's another organization in our community called Moccasin House where they teach the Indigenous cultures. And so these kids will kind of become the teepee raisers for us. So because we now have 2 teepees in the community,
Really?
them and mine. So
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
anyway, a little off topic, but
No. This is exciting.
it is. I love it. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, this teepee. And so then we'll be having some women's circles and full moon, new moon
The Moon
gatherings.
Lodge. Yay, the Moon Lodge.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
the Moon Lodge.
Lodge
It's
is
funny because
beautiful.
I was part of one that was called a Moon Star Lodge in Ontario. So yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we have that coming, but yeah, it might make it tricky. I think we'll probably be loading the trailer up with everything at this point at 11.
That's okay.
Mhm.
We're gonna do it June 13th. We'll go live on YouTube for anybody that's listening. So you've got some notice.
Yeah.
In a few weeks. That's what, 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna go live, and then that way you can answer or ask all the questions, and we can answer anything, and we can have some interaction. So we're super excited for that.
Yeah. That would be fun. I'm going to make sure I have that marked down.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I don't fall asleep again. Oh my word. I don't know if you guys have been having the same experience, but I've been up the last 2-3 weeks, at least 3-4 times a week, awake at 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning,
Mhm.
downloads just coming through thick and fast from the point. Just, I mean, even this week, I just said, can you guys stop? Just stop. Just stop. Just let me integrate some of this because it's just coming through too fast. And I don't mean that you must stop altogether, but just give me some space to breathe because it's
A day or two in between.
yeah, a day or
Yeah.
2 in between works really well.
I had a
But it's-
beautiful friend who did a little session with me on that because I was finding like I think when you start opening up and you're creative, it's like everything
Right.
starts coming through, and I would start something one day and then the next day be like, oh, I got to start this instead, and the next day start it. Anyways, and she helped me call in a gatekeeper.
Ooh.
That kind of, if you visualize, the gatekeeper will allow things in slowly.
I
And
love
it
that
doesn't mean it
idea.
goes away. It just means that you take it in and yeah. And then
I must say, the day that I had in between all this stuff coming up, where I felt so incredibly overwhelmed, and I had a day's break, has made all the difference. Yesterday was actually the day's break. It made all the difference. Just
Mhm.
having that break, because yeah, and if that's how you're feeling, and you're feeling a bit discombobulated because there's so much energy coming through, you're not alone. It's happening to
Mhm.
many of us, and a lot. Also, really important to ground. I'm
Mhm.
so grateful I do a yoga practice because that helps me ground. Otherwise, I don't know. I'd be all over the place.
yeah, ground, be in nature, walk on the grass or dirt with bare feet, breathe, meditate, listen to music.
Some focused breaths are always super fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I haven't
I
done a
mean,
lot of breath work. That's something that I do want to do more of.
And Janice, how was your event last week? Or is it this week?
What did I do?
Oh, there's an event. Where you're speaking? Is that this week?
That's this week. Yeah, next week. I actually leave tomorrow
Right.
morning to go down to that. So yeah, next week's a busy week and gonna be hanging out with lots of excited people. So that too, I know for me, I have to really balance that and or else I will come back exhausted.
Yeah.
So
I've had a
excited.
very similar experience.
So excited. Tomorrow I'm running my first face-to-face event that I have since before COVID.
Yeah.
So excited. And there's a circle of 9 of us.
Oh, that's exciting.
nice. So what is this? Tell us more.
I run a process called the Alchemy of Purpose, and it's I use sacred geometry to help people create their own seed of life, using that as a sacred geometry form. It's very special, very magical. So we're running that tomorrow.
That sounds
Great.
Beautiful.
fun.
Very, very excited. So yeah, that's it's it's been a long time coming out of, and I have to say, the cocoon and the chrysalis that I have been in. I think I've mentioned it before, I mentioned it again, is that COVID in 2020 coincided with my Saturn return in the same freaking years. um, so yeah, and Saturn, as we know, surfaces most of what we have to transform in our lives. So the journey on the back end of Saturn return, which normally starts at about 58. And for me, my experience was, it wasn't going 58 to 60. It actually went into my 60. The tail end still followed me into 61. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
taken a fair amount of work since then to recalibrate, because on every single level, vibrationally, energetically, emotionally, psychologically, everything. You talk about the Tower Tarot card. Hello, that was 2020 for me. On every single level, family, money, everything, everything. And so it's taken a lot of healing, a lot of quiet time, a lot of, I wouldn't say isolated, because I don't feel isolated at all, but it's taken a lot of that self-care, self-nurturing, being in that chrysalis and allowing what is birthing itself to come through, which is now starting to happen. It's exciting. It's very
Yeah.
exciting.
I'm with you. My Saturn is in Aries, and I've just been walking through my Saturn return for the last couple of years. And I'm 61 now also, and I feel it slowly I'm coming out of it now. Things are settling and getting more clear. But yeah, it's so people, I don't know if you said that, it's your Saturn return, your second Saturn return, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, second Saturn return. First Saturn return is 28 to about 31, 30, 31. And the funny thing was, my daughter was going through her first Saturn return as I was going through my second.
Well, I did find that it was very much a family affair.
It very much was. So it was just really funny that we were both going through a Saturn return at the same time. Yeah, it's just, yeah, and when we understand and we know what the energies are, it's a lot more, I wouldn't even say palatable, it's not the right word. It's a lot more, it's a lot easier. It's never easy, but it's easier when we understand the context of what's actually happening. And that it's not this, just everything's bamboozling me. Life is, the way that life is tumbling me all over. It's not like that at all. It's just understanding the energies and sitting with them. And sometimes that pause is a long pause because it needs to be a long pause.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of people catapulting forward right now. I see that around me.
Yeah.
A lot of other women business owners who are just like, wow, they're nailing it. Things are moving now. Sorry, Alana, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's literally where we're at. Is like there was this huge jump manifestation, and then there was this slow build up, and I think that's where we're at right now in this energy of like, again, I don't study astrology or have that background, but like you said, it's that there's this momentum that's carrying right now that it's just you can feel it.
Mm-hmm. It's building. It feels like it's building. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the last 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes.
And like again, those downloads of things coming through, it's like that's all piling and progressing all of that information forward.
I felt like I was in this in the womb space. And I think we talked about that, like this black hole. I'm like, no, this is the womb space. And I don't know what's going on for the last 6 weeks. And it's just now I'm like, oh, okay. Just in the last week, things have really shifted back. I'm like, thank goodness.
And clarity, like so much clarity.
And who's just come out of retrograde? Good question. Need to go look that up, because that would also create the shift coming out. And then we've got planets moving into Aries at 0 degrees, which is now also, again, bringing in the new beginnings energy of Aries, because it's the first sign in the zodiac.
Yeah.
I know Saturn moved in, I think today, into, and Saturn is a ruling planet of Scorpio. So for those who have that, it can be even more hectic than normal. So yeah, just interesting. It's interesting to know those things. I must tell you something I did this morning, which was a whole lot of fun. Going back to AI and ChatGPT, I took my astrological chart and I put it into ChatGPT, and it gave me an interpretation. It was it was incredible.
Really?
Was it correct?
Yeah, well, it resonated a lot in terms of some of the messaging that came through, and of course, keep critical faculties alive. And then I did my daughter, and I did my son, and then I did comparison between the three of us. It was actually a really interesting story and narrative that came out as our family trilogy.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, it was just really interesting. And again, keep your critical faculties alive, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
It's
So it was
cool.
just really interesting.
It is very cool to you really study those things. I know in human design, if anyone's familiar with human design, I looked up my incarnation cross, and what was written in this book about that numeral whatever you call that incarnation cross. It's not coming out. It was almost like the exact description of soulfully aligned women. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
yes, nailed it. I got it. I'm on track.
Right?
Yeah, but it's very cool to read it and go, wow, wow. Like, yeah. But I mean, that took me till I was in my 50s before I figured it out. Everything else was
Most of what came through this morning when I read it, it really resonated. It just gave me a very different interpretation from a traditional astrologer having a look at it. And it also just pointed out I'm absolutely right on track for where I'm at. Little tweaks and things where you go, don't know if you got that placement right, but it's okay. It was just, it's again about just be curious. And then have your critical faculties alive in terms of what you really take on and what you don't.
Now I'm
And even
curious. Go play with it.
Yeah, even with my children, it gave pretty accurate interpretations of who they are and what's important to them. And also the relationship that they've had when they were younger, they didn't get on as well as they get on now. And that was also part of their journey. So yeah, it was just again, here's a piece of information, sticking in the palm of my hand, take what I like and leave the rest.
Exactly. Like you said, just be curious about it. Just play with it, have fun with it, and what resonates, leave the rest.
It was absolute fun. Then I did something else yesterday, which was huge amounts of fun. I had my inner child come out and play with ChatGPT, and we created some memes, and I was roaring with laughter with some of the things that came out. It was very funny. So yeah, again, have fun with this stuff, and this is the lightening up. It's not taking everything so freaking seriously.
Right.
yeah, so true. Lighten up. Like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my goodness. Have fun. Like we are here to experience all the feelings, and the good ones and the bad, but we get to choose where we want to stay. We don't have to be stuck in suffering. Like we choose the suffering. And we can just as easily choose the fun, the joy, the play, the experience of it all.
Yeah.
We talk about the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism, and there is a nobility to it, but when we stay stuck in it, there's nothing noble about staying stuck. That's not what nobility is at all. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm just finding the energies at the moment are quite gentle. I'm not sure whether you're finding the same thing. They're very soft.
Sorry,
very
can you
gentle.
say that again?
So I'm finding the energies right now quite gentle. They're quite soft.
Which is a nice break from
From the chaos.
oh my goodness.
It's still busy. Gentler, maybe, in my opinion. Gentler, yes, but it's still busy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it just be nice, like you said about those downloads and like everything else, like it'd just be nice to breathe every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, and I think to limiting your awareness of what's going on around the world, because as there's been several posts come up lately about we weren't meant to know all of this as humans. Like we have this circle of about like 30 people around us that's where we're supposed to be. And now we have the whole world in front of us, and that is
Oh, yeah.
bombarding us, right, with information and like and sometimes the drama stories are just that they're drama created and
Mhm.
um
Oh,
and magnified. So,
Mhm.
being able to step back from all of that and give yourself space and not feel guilty about
Oh,
I
not
actually,
wanting to know.
yeah, I actually closed off Facebook today altogether because you're talking about the drama that's going on. You guys know that I happen to be in South Africa, and the shit show that's going on right now with what's actually happened. And everybody and their mother's got an opinion. And then, exactly what it's designed to do, pitting people against each other because this person's got this view and this person's got this view and this is conspiracy and that conspiracy. No, no, shut the noise down completely, closed it off, and rising above all of this energy, because it's so counterproductive to anything that we're trying, that we're looking at, working at in terms of raising consciousness. And
Well,
so,
I was just
huh?
gonna say I was just gonna say it's funny because like I don't watch the news. I never know what's going on. Like unless you said, like you said, if it shows up on my because I spend a lot of my time online and Facebook and others like socials because that's where I work. I don't spend a ton of time, but I spend obviously enough time there. But or more than enough, I'm sure. But anyway, so I went to the dentist the other day and they have on the TV on the ceiling, right? For like just to keep you distracted. And she's like, "Did you want to watch Netflix or did you want to watch the news?" I'm like, "Well, if I get into Netflix, I'll probably be here for 5 more hours and you'll have to kick me out. So I won't go there." And so I ended up watching the news. And as I'm sitting there, I noticed, and we're here in Canada, a few of us, and something about Alberta separating. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, I had no idea this was a thing, what was going on. It was, again, this drama of like, wait, what? What is going on in this world that I'm not paying attention to? And apparently that's one of the things I haven't seen on Facebook yet. But my goodness.
I
It's
know.
when you kind of again what it's all distraction. It's all distraction towards what the highest good, what we're supposed to do here. And I mean it's kind of funny to poke your head out every once in a while and go like, what's going on out here? But
Yeah.
occasionally it's great to be like, oh, okay, I'm going back to my little world where I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
So true.
at the end of the day, there's a level of awareness in the sense of being able to send and direct light. Full stop.
Yeah.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to get any further than that.
Mm-mm.
Because if it goes any further than that, then I become part of the story, and that's not a narrative I choose to belong in anymore. But do I need to know a little bit of what's going on? Sure. I don't need to be
Of course.
the ostrich with my head in the sand. But again, it's like sitting on the riverbank and watching it drift by instead of getting caught in it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said that to my husband too, because he's very much into the news. And so I say, that's your role.
Exactly.
My role is I can't go there because if
No.
I'm anchoring in the light, that's a distraction. Like you said, Alana, it's a distraction and it takes me down rabbit holes that aren't beneficial for me and breaks my heart. How am I anchoring in light if that's and I'm not ignoring because I've got
No.
him covering my back. So if there's something I need to know, he can tell me. But I also pick up on things on social media because I'm there too. So there's certain times I see something has gone on and and we need to be aware, like you said, Angela, there's awareness that there is this or that. Not total ignorance, but also a respectable boundary for myself. That
Very much
I
so.
know that in order to continue to stand in that alignment and anchor in the light that we so need right now, I can't be caught up in the politics of what's going on in the world. Like I cannot,
No.
because
No,
I don't even know who to believe anymore. So,
absolutely.
and as far as being an Albertan and them saying we're separating, it's like, well, yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But
Back didn't go anywhere either. So
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Oh, what a glorious mess we live in, but it's also wonderful as well. In the mess, in the messy is the wonder and the glory and the curiosity as well. It's not just about messy chaos. There's lots of good stuff happening in the middle of the messy.
Well, and then it's the fun because I'm sitting here going, okay, Alberta, can you literally pick up and leave? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here.
I know, but it was
having
the
fun with
same.
it.
It was the same when Quebec was separated. It's like I don't understand how that works. Okay.
In the middle of the country. Anyway.
Yeah. But it's the divisiveness energy. It's
Yeah.
an energy of people being upset and angry and had enough. And
And
that needs to happen right now. That is because people are coming into their awareness of like, this is not right. We can't do it this way, So it's very messy right now, but it is a necessary moving forward mess.
I'm gonna I'll give you a metaphor for this. I mean, if you think about the caterpillar going into the chrysalis and everybody, the butterflies, the miracle. No, all the messy work that the caterpillar does inside the chrysalis that we don't even see in order to become the butterfly. That's the messy that we're in right now, and we will become the butterflies.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the hard work is. It's the hard work is in the messy. And yet it's so rewarding. God help me. 4 years of messy. Oh my Lord. But yeah, our wings are ready. They've dried. They're ready to really take off. So yeah, I'm looking
Well,
forward
and
to
we need the people that are the ones that are going to be out there advocating, like all the power to you. And we need those of us that are the light workers that are like, wait a minute, we're just going to circle up over here.
Yep. Hold the
Create a
space.
ball of energy because like the world needs us, right? So we
100%.
just need everyone, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm seeing us all as little glowworms flying all over the place with our light.
I love my job.
Right? It's so fun. Like you said, and having those other people in your life that are like the fillers of information. So I know I'll never be completely buried in the sand. There will always be information coming in.
Yeah.
But it's continuing to hold the light anyway and continuing to hold
And I think
space.
Janice, you made a really good point, and that's being boundaried around how much we do that in and how much we don't. And that's our choice. Everything ultimately comes back down to a choice again.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this is such a beautiful
We
conversation.
are going to be wishing you very well and rooting for you for Wednesday next week. I will be waiting from here, this side of the world.
Yes.
Well, there is a live stream link, and I'll post it in my group or in our group, and I'm posting it in my groups too, that people can watch online if they so choose. But there'll be a lot of really great inspirational speakers there, and yeah, I'm excited. So I get on stage. Mine's only like a 15-minute block, but I'll be on stage on Wednesday, the 28th at somewhere around 10:30ish, depending on how quickly the speeches move along. But that's when I'll be on 10:30 Mountain Time. But I will put the link in the group. I just got it this morning. So thank you for your well wishes.
And we will we'll post that in the notes as well. So if anybody wants to jump on who's listening, you can check the notes in the video.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys next week. Yay.
Yeah, I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Enjoy, and you better be posting as you continue forward with your TP. We need updates.
Yeah. Absolute.
I will be for sure. Okay, you guys have a beautiful weekend.
Lots of love and safe travels.
Thank you. You guys too.
Bye.
Bye.